Sometimes if you really love the person,
what I would do is make sure I bring the cops with me.
Mom, send help.
Do not break up with people over DM. That's so bad.
I have a confession to make. I'm against what I just said. Like, I'm totally against what I just said.
Welcome to In Other Words, the show where you don't choose your side, the side chooses you. Each episode, 4 participants draw a random stance, for or against, before hearing the prompt. Whether they agree or not, they've got to speak on it. The results are a mix of bold takes, surprising insights, and some real moments. Today's theme is social media the real world now? Today's prompts are you more yourself online than in person? Can you tell who someone is by their feed? Do you need social media to stay culturally relevant today? Would you be happier if social media didn't exist? Does social media fame mean anything in real life? Do online relationships count as real relationships? Is it better to break up over DM than in person? And is posting your partner equal to proof of love? Let's get into it.
Alright, I'm actually more myself online because, as some of y'all may know, I'm actually a YouTuber. So I honestly talk about football, as some may call it soccer, most of the time. And that's basically my personality. It's what I've just watched since I was a kid. So I usually always talk about it. So that's what I would say. I'm actually online. I'm more myself online than in person. The name is Pushing Praise. And basically, yes, I am a YouTuber, and I want to say I am myself online, but I also want to say I'm also myself in person. I technically was I wasn't really lying, but if I wanted to add something to it, I would just say I feel like it would just be better to know me in person. I feel like my energy in person is way better than my energy online. So yeah, peace out.
I am not myself online at all because I'm a bit crazy, and I think people would judge me because when I'm in person, I'm just making weird comments, and social media would ban me, and so I think it's best that I'm not myself online.
Yeah, so like Praise, I feel like I'm able to express myself more freely online than I am in real life. I'm quite an introverted and shy person in real life. So when I'm on social media, it's kind of like I'm able to talk more openly about the things that I like and how I feel. It's kind of like a safety net almost, or a safety blanket, I mean, to be able to go online kind of anonymously, but not really. Because the things that I say online are still parts of my own true thoughts and feelings. But yeah.
If I was honest online, they would ban me out of that space completely. So there's social anxiety, and then I have social media anxiety. I hate being online, but then whenever I am, that's not me. I'm a fake person. Do not trust what I have to say online, especially this. Fake it till you make it. Because everything that you do online, because I do brand management and stuff, so it just has come down to the point where you're putting up a persona so that you get better views. That's how I see it.
Yeah, I think social media, once you're on it and when you say something, it's like it's there forever, right? So there's no room for error. For example, in person, I might say something or make a slight comment, but I know that being humans, you're probably going to forget in like 5 seconds. But social media, they will pause it, rewind it, like literally break it down. So I think it's a bit scary to be completely naked in social media when you're just in the limelight.
If you know me in person and you see my social media, you'll be like, yeah, I definitely see it. That's how he is in person. So I feel like I try my best to just be like, to keep my same personality as I would, like the same way I would be in person. I try to keep that same personality online.
Were you a natural at that, or did you have to build yourself up?
Honestly, yeah, because I remember after high school, I went into a phase where, I was like, hey, what do I want to do in life, I'm kind of lost. So I feel like that's when everything, because we were online, everything moved to like social media. Social media really like skyrocketed. That's when ideas started flowing through my head, and that's when I was like, okay, let me start making content. And it's just been going like far ever since.
Yeah, and to build off of Praise's point, even though I'm not like a social media figure like he is, I know that when people consume content from social media influencers and YouTubers, they're expecting some degree of authenticity, especially when their content is based around their life and how they navigate their life and, things that they experience. So I think when you're online, it's important to maintain some semblance to your identity, right? To be authentic to a certain degree to yourself so that you don't associate with things that you don't necessarily believe in, like, on the other side of the screen. Adrian, I was just on the side for being more yourself online than in person. I am not that. That was the random prompt that I drew, and to be truthful, I am definitely more myself in person than online. Even though I am still quite an introverted person and I value my private time and my ability to just be comfortable in my own company, I do prefer connecting with people, face to face, skin to skin, because online there's just a screen between everyone, and I feel like you can't get the most authentic version of yourself or the people around you that way.
Well, now that I said that I'm a fake person online, I know you guys are going to question my authenticity over here, but yeah, I do understand people having to be authentically themselves, but I'm completely against being yourself online, because if I was to be myself online, because I have a really dark humor, and if I ever open my mouth up over there, I'm cancelled. And it's like I've watched so many influencers slip up, content creators, David Dobrik, even Logan Paul, but he just fights through whatever they have to say. Even like KSI puts up new music and he can't be himself because everyone's like, oh, the CJ is this, and then they'll rewind and they'll be like, oh, his forehead's too big or something like that. So it's really, really hard for some people to be themselves online. I find that a problem myself because I don't have my personal account online. I just manage a bunch of different brand accounts. So yeah, because of those reasons, I'm just like, I don't want the drama. I like a drama-free life.
So I personally think that you can't exactly tell who a person is to a T based off of their social media feeds. You can tell some things about them, maybe the areas that they frequent or the hobbies that they have, maybe the things that they're interested in, like music or TV shows, but who they are, like as a person and their personality, like at their core, I don't think you can get a proper glimpse of that just by seeing what's on their social media explore page.
I disagree. I think social media, especially nowadays, speaks a lot for who the person is. So for example, if you look at someone's page and you see more of nature and you see them hiking or camping, you can tell that this person is more outdoorsy, they enjoy being out in nature, versus someone who is probably doing, TikTok dances. So I think it gives away more than we think, because even though it might be a 7 to a 15-second video, you can see a person's personality through that, because they're expressing way more with their facial expressions, with their moves, with their body language. So I think to a certain degree, social media does, like a person's feed does show who they really are. Would you agree?
Yes. Go on my social media page right now and you'll see why I agree. But no, honestly, I definitely agree, because as a social media like influencer myself and YouTuber and all that, so basically the goal for us is to try to show what we do as much as possible. So if I really wanted to really have an idea of how a person thinks or what type of person they are, most of the time, because just because it's 2025, I would go on social media and I would look at your post, and then I would be able to judge what type of person you are based on your post. So if you like anime, that would give me an idea of what type of person you are. So if you like films, I would get a glimpse or whatever, you know, they like YouTubers or whatever. So I feel like it does give you an idea of what type of person they are. So I definitely agree.
I got one question. Show me your social media. Give it to me. Let me judge who you are. But in all seriousness, I feel like it all comes down to how people judge you. Social media has come to a point where, I mean, as much as I do make money out of social media, and social media is great for me, it's just that you as a person, when you show something of what you do, you're just showing people what you want to see of them. So you wouldn't necessarily see every single aspect of their lives. You just see a prefabricated part of their life that they want you to think who they are. So that's why I'm against the fact that, like, you don't see the real person behind social media. You just see a part of what they want you to see. My name is Sahan, and I think I made a very strong argument over there that made Himani change her mind. I like what I did. Looking forward for more instances like that. Take care, bye.
Yeah, to build off of Sahan's point, yeah, like people for sure pick and choose what they want other people to see on their social media. And there's also the flip side of that too. People who just don't post to social media at all, i.e. people like me. I only use social media to really scroll and DM my friends and my family, but I don't need to be posting about everything that I do throughout the day in order to get my use of social media out, right? So when it comes to people like that, like, what can you tell about people who have a blank profile? Nothing, right?
I do find those people with a blank profile very mysterious. For me, I just use social media most of the time to just like market myself. And it used to be, I remember I used to have a fitness page, like a fitness social media and everything. I still do have it, but like I changed my username and everything. So for y'all that do remember, yeah, you might find it if you look for it. But I changed my username so people can just forget about it. But now I have this new channel that I'm very consistent on, and I post on and everything. So I feel like that one is more myself now than when I just used to post about fitness, because I feel like I can be more myself, and I'm very comfortable than I used to be. So
Back in the day, a normal individual would only have maybe 10 close friends, 20. Maybe if you live in a village, you know the village, but you don't know them like that close. Whereas now social media gives you access to having 500 friends. You had 17,000 followers. Yeah. So I feel like watching someone's feed still gives you information about who they are as a person. You don't have to know everything about them. We would be overwhelmed if we knew everything about a person. So I think social media is a good tool to just see what your friends are up to. You know, you might have not talked to them in 2 years, but okay, she's doing well for herself.
all right, my name is Pushing Praise, and I feel like I'm against believing that social media can tell you all about them, because, like, for example, me as an example, all I'm gonna say is I'm a Madrid fan. So if I want you to see Madrid, all I'm gonna post is Madrid. If I say London is blue and you come on my social media page, you gotta believe that Chelsea is always gonna be the best team in London. So that's one of the reasons why I believe that you shouldn't believe everything you see on social media. Because if you come on my social media, I'm gonna convince you that Real Madrid is the best team in the world and Chelsea is the best team in the world. That's all I'm gonna say.
I think I changed his mind too. No, you shouldn't use social media to stay culturally relevant. I don't know why I did that. It's just it's I don't even have words, but it's just you shouldn't use social media to stay culturally relevant. Yeah, like if you really want to be relevant, you go out there, join a community, meet real people, like in real life. Everyone on social media is just being fake, and
I object.
oh my
I
god.
object as well.
Thank
How
you
about people who cannot go out there, who physically can't go out there? How do you expect them to be culturally relevant? That's right. You leave them speechless.
So, like, in a sense of like people who are differently abled.
Or who just don't want to go out. Thank you.
See, they brought up a good point, but I just want to go to confessions right at this point. Mom, send help. I was so lost. We had a great team there. I'm so glad that when I got stuck, my teammate carried me. I appreciate it. But then at the same time, I feel like I was more for than against. It's just I had no choice. And at the same time, yeah, you do need social media to stay a little relevant. I'm dabbling in the middle of it. I'm sometimes against, sometimes for.
So, on the topic of people who, for any reason or purpose, are not able to physically go out and connect with their communities, I can concede and say that social media may be a tool to help connect them, but I will not agree to the point where social media is vital for connection. We still have things like cell phones, people. So like, if you want to text a friend, you don't have to do that through Instagram DM or Snapchat or whatever the kids are using these days. I say that like as if I'm not like 21, but no, like you can still, like old times, like just call up your friend on a random Sunday afternoon and ask them how they've been doing. And it doesn't have to feel like, I feel like people shouldn't feel like they're excluded from the rest of the world just because they're not so inclined to be on social media. There are definitely still ways to stay, you know, educated and connected with the world without being on Instagram or Twitter or X or whatever it's called 24/7. You know, people still watch news on the cable. People still write letters to their friends across the world, even though it is more convenient to send them an email or whatever. But
Do you watch cable or send letters?
Irrelevant. Next question.
But can you truly say that with your chest though? Like, cause all I'm hearing is, yeah, you guys, you know, we don't have to stay, we don't need social media, we don't need this. But then I can object and agree that we both know you be on social media. So I know that you don't post as much, and you know you're very MIA in terms of like, I don't post, so people they never really know what I'm up to. But deep down, you're probably the person that's always online the most out of all of us. So yeah, so yeah, it's okay. It's just jokes. But yeah, so I would just say that you do need to be on social media to stay relevant, especially nowadays, because I feel like with just the way the world is going, obviously with AI and all these things being introduced to the world, we really like, if you're not on social media, you need to hop on the trend. Like, social media will literally be what makes us money in a few years. Like, when I tell you, like, there will come a time where if you're not on social media, it will be very hard to even get a job, or like there's AI will replace a bunch of stuff. So you'll need to really learn how social media works.
Now that you brought up AI though, see, it's come to a point where I'm getting scammed when I'm 70 years old. Like, no cap, because it's getting so freakingly good. So I feel like that's why you should go out there, be more relevant with the community, and maybe watch a little bit on news, because there's so much of fake news out there as well. So get your information from proper sources, please. When people are trying to be relevant from social media. It has come to a point where there's so much of misinformation, fake news, people posting whatever the crap that comes into their head. It's a whole lot of nonsense out there.
Yeah, no, I agree that whatever you see on the internet or on social media, you shouldn't believe that. But the fact that social media is a path for you to even access that information. What you do with that information is on you, right? You got to check if it is from a valid source or if it's just whatever, right? So, but I think in order to even be in a place where you can authenticate information, I think right now the trend is on social media. Everything. Think about hotels, for example. Back in the day, people would do word of mouth or like find their website, but now everything is through social media.
Hi, it's me, Adrian again. The prompt that we just discussed was, do you need to be on social media to stay culturally relevant or just relevant in the world in general? I'm divided on it, honestly. I was on the side of against, but as I was speaking, even though Sahan made some really good points, I found it really hard to like carry my own weight because I didn't necessarily believe that you don't need social media to stay relevant. There's a lot of pop culture happening on social media. There's a lot of real life events and news happening on social media. But at the same time, I also believe that you need to strike a balance of both. Always double check your sources. Don't take social media influencers' words as gospel. And remember to think for yourself and don't get stuck in the echo chamber of social media.
Yes. You know what? I totally agree with that. Like, I just feel like I would be happy if social media didn't exist, man. Because growing up, I honestly miss touching the grass. Like, I honestly miss touching grass. Like, do you not miss touching grass?
I love touching grass. It's awesome. But yes, I would be so much happier if social media did not exist because one, touching grass is amazing. Two, it's just there's so much of overload of information that I hate. I hate waking up in the morning checking social media because I have to as a social media manager sometimes. And it's just there's so many people doing so many different things, and it makes me feel like, oh, I'm not doing good enough no matter what I do. I have this one friend who cycles every single day for like 84 kilometers. Shout out Peru. You are crazy. But it's just there's so much of overload of information, so many things to catch up on. And I used to have a big social media account, which I told you guys about, that I had to delete because it just got too overwhelming. So many people messaging you. And I miss going out and meeting people and talking to them and having real connections than having 5,000 Facebook friends who you never talk to. Oh, they don't know who you are.
Oh, my Heavenly Father, forgive me for that. I have sinned. The other team was completely right.
You definitely do need social media. I think social media keeps people happy. You get to see what your loved ones do. You get to keep in touch. You get to stay relevant. You get to, wow, like social media is amazing. Thank you.
Okay, so that's all very good and all, but I personally think that, like, just in general, we as a society, we would probably be more disconnected if one day social media just went down, like complete blackout. I feel like we'd all be kind of lost or disoriented in some way, especially you guys on that side, because you're a social media manager and you're a social media influencer. You're a YouTuber.
I'd be broke.
Yeah, but it's one thing about having your occupations and livelihood to be on, you know, social media, but it's another to just be a regular consumer. And I feel like the average consumer would be, you know, really bored, honestly, without social media. Like, admittedly, my screen time is kind of atrocious right now. So I feel like my quality of life would definitely take at least a little bit of a ding if I couldn't access social media anymore. I'd feel disconnected and really out of touch with, you know, my friends online, and to not have access to like the content that I like to consume and like engage with, I wouldn't really know what to do with myself.
I would like to refute this utter verbosity that you don't need social media. Liars sitting over there. But all I'd like to say is, to everything we've talked about before, social media is kind of in our veins. Like, it is an extension of who we are. And no matter how much we try to run away from it, hide from it, it's coming for us, right? And that's the thing about evolution. Like, you can fight it, but what's going to happen? We are going to evolve into this AI world. I know it's scary, but at the same time, we cannot completely ignore it, right? And in terms of just staying relevant, like what's happening in the world. I don't know if you've seen videos of VO3, like just seeing how technology is moving forward. I think it is definitely going to harm us if we're not catching up with it, for sure. And you can always touch grass, because
But do you
grass
not-
is still there.
Like, I do get that, but do you not like miss life before ChatGPT though? Remember the days when you would go to school and 1 + 1 was 2, like 2 + 2 was 4. Like, remember those days before ChatGPT would give you an answer? Because nowadays I feel like you go to an exam room and, hey, ChatGPT, help me with this question. Like, it's always gotta be something to do with another thing. Like, for example, like you want to get info, you're always looking for information on what, like an answer to something wherein you can try to figure out with your own brain. Like, I feel like social media is really, and the internet is just taking that sense of like thinking from us.
I am jealous of the people and the kids who are using ChatGPT, because I had to do so much effort to do these projects, and I wish I had ChatGPT. I wish I did.
The game's gone.
In terms of happiness, I feel like it's just that it's come to a point where we all know social media and we all know how it works and stuff like that, so we are obviously attached. But if it was to never exist, life would have been amazing. I mean, I understand, yes, you could talk to your loved one 3,000 miles away, and there's so many other good things that social media has done, of course, but it's come to a point where everyone's just trying to like forget the real life and they try to exist more online, and that's where I find there's a big issue, because everyone's trying to build a fake persona online.
Yeah, but that's just a choice you make, right? It's not that social media is built that way that you have to be on it 5 hours a day. You can choose to be on it 30 minutes a day, but it's just that it allows you, so you have that option available. Hello, it's your girl Himani again. I was a big fat liar back there. I use social media and I love it, but at the same time, I usually go on digital detoxes where I haven't used Instagram or social media for 8 months, and I kid you not, my life changed. I had so much focus. I could do things. Right now, I think I have ADHD, but social media is great, but I'm very easily entertained. So Reels will take away 5 hours from my day. So I think it would be a better world without social media. But yeah, that's just something we say, right?
Okay, so as for whether or not social media fame means anything in real life, I definitely feel like it doesn't have the same impact as, let's say, A-list celebrities, you know, walking the red carpet, you know, actors, music artists. I feel like social media doesn't exactly translate into that very well, because on social media, it's all of it is just a fabrication and a marketing of yourself, but at the same time, how much of that is real? So even though social media influencers definitely are popular, that kind of stays within the apps that they're platformed on. You know, it's not very often that social media influencers break big numbers. It's like 1 in a million, right? You don't get a Charli D'Amelio every other week. That happens once every few years. So the average social media influencer, even though they might be pulling in good numbers online and making good money and good living off of what they do, they're probably still able to live a relatively normal life outside of it.
I object. Social media fame does mean a lot. It doesn't mean everything. You're not gonna get handed out everything to you, but does definitely mean a lot in a sense of, have you seen Kai Cenat in these big red carpet events? Alex Warren, who did YouTube for a very long time, then he was on TikTok with his wife Cooper, and now he was at one of the recent music awards. He was headlining there. So there's so many artists that, like, yes, you would get your Jay-Z and Beyonce and sometimes P. Diddy, but but like you, it's very hard to break into these sectors. But social media has allowed you to be yourself. If you put in the hard work, find the patterns in the algorithm, you could always try to like be determined and you push forward. You could always be famous. It's not for everybody, but you could always find a way. And it's always like there are so many people who've never had the right chances and the opportunity or the network, but they could use social media and become famous, and that has allowed them to create their own career path and to do what they love.
Yeah, I agree. I think social media fame, to a certain degree, does make matter in the real world, because I feel like as a person, it really develops you. So for example, let's say if someone has 5 million or like 200 million followers, right? Whatever they're showcasing themselves as on social media, when they leave the social media world behind and enter the real world, the confidence, the poise that they carry with them comes through social media, right? So if they're confident enough to show themselves to 5 million people, what is 20 people there, right? So I think being famous on social media in the real world might not transform into, oh my God, there's that influencer and they'll take a picture, but as a person, you just become this celebrity or whatever in your own brain. And we're all living in our own worlds anyway, right?
Hi, I'm Adrienne. The prompt that we just discussed was pretty interesting. I definitely can see how social media influencers have been able to take their influence online and do something in real life with it. There's social media influencers who are breaking out in the film industry as actors, people on social media who are breaking out in the music industry as music artists. And I definitely feel like social media fame does have some impact in real life nowadays. But like I said earlier, Charlie D'Amelio happens once in a blue moon, and it's really hard to make your way up out of social media when that's all you've known and that's the only platform that you've, been comfortable with presenting yourself on. But yeah, nepotism, having connections before anybody else can jump the gun to them, they definitely give people more of an advantage in real life. But yeah, social media, I don't think it should be discredited at all.
Because let's just say, let me use this example. The reason why it doesn't mean all that, because as a social media, or an influencer or whatever, or, okay, you mentioned Kai Cenat, right? YouTubers. So would you consider YouTubers as the people you want, do you consider them as people that you want to see run the world? Literally run the world, because that's what's happening. So you're literally for that. You agree with that.
I feel like Kai Cenat and all these other YouTubers or social media influencers, they do have a sense of empathy that some arrogant A-list celebrities do. They don't have that, because these guys are humble. They know the amount of hard work and dedication it takes. Well, there's of course some A-list celebrities who have worked from ground up, but then there are some people who've just been handed them the opportunity since they were young, and they just don't give a damn about what other people think. So I think empathy plays a big role there.
So what makes me different, right? So let's say I'm a business owner, right? And I want to basically sell to 10 people. And I go on social media and I actually managed to do it. But then they're compared to another person that has a large following, and just because they have, for example, 200K, does that make them relevant? Just because they have a large following and I don't have that much? So just because they have a large following, all of a sudden they're literally the most popular person in the room.
So
because they have 200K followers.
Okay. So as a business owner, are you local?
Let's just say I'm just a known business owner, but like I don't have that much followers, or I don't have that much following.
So I feel like it would make sense if you're Apple and you're looking for an influencer. Okay, it makes sense for you to go with someone like Sabrina Carpenter or I don't know, Travis Scott. Or so I don't think Travis Scott should go for that. But like you're one of these big brands. But if you're a local sandwich shop down in Vancouver, I feel like a small influencer with 1,000 followers would do better than getting Travis Scott, because he's known all around the world and now he's promoting. Like, yes, you'll put $2-3 million into your advertising campaign, but that it's pointless, because the guy with 1,000 influencers probably would make a big impact getting the right people to that small shop in Vancouver that you have.
Man, my name is Praise, aka Pushing Praise, and I have a confession to make. That was hard for me, man. Like, I can't believe I actually did that. Now I'm starting to debate, why am I even here? No, honestly, because, man, we really do. Like, I'm out here answering questions like, do you need social media in 2025? Like, I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to get 10K, let alone imagine getting 200K followers. Generally believe that you do need, like, to be considered relevant, you need a large following. And I feel like, especially when it comes to brands and all those things, they will take you more serious when they see that, you know, you have a large following, loyal customers, loyal fans, and all that. So I feel like, well, then what's the whole point if I'm doing YouTube and I'm not getting any subscribers? Like, think of it that way. It just makes no sense, right?
So, do social media friends and online friends really mean that there are actual friends? I don't think so, because I have about close to 1,000 friends online. I barely talk to them, like most of them. Yeah, we're always liking each other's posts and pictures, but I wouldn't really consider those as friendships, because let's say tomorrow if I get pulled over by a cop, right? There's no way I'm going onto social media and DMing a friend, hey, can you come help me? I'm probably going to call someone who is with me, who is local, who I talk to on a regular basis. So I think, yeah, social media is great to share experiences, but not necessarily a bond, you know, not a friendship.
I just think about all the friends I've made on social media that I've converted to real life, man, and I get overwhelmed. Like, I look at all the 3,000 followers I have, and I'm not gonna lie, out of those 3,000 followers, I've probably made I would say about 2,500 friends out of those people. Like, it's actually insane. It's crazy. So all I'm gonna say is, like, the reason I agree with this is because as an influencer myself, and an upcoming YouTuber, I said what I said. My goal is to literally become friends with all my subscribers. Even if I make 1 million subscribers, I'm gonna turn them all into my friends. I have a confession to make. I'm against what I just said. Like, I'm totally against what I just said. I'm sorry to all my 3,000 followers and upcoming 1 million subscribers, but I am not taking all of y'all on a hike. Like, come on, man. What are we doing? Like, let's be real. I barely can even get a group of 2 people to get. Nah, I'm playing. But no, honestly, like, I feel like as a sports content creator, I feel like when I first started, the goal was to just get as many followers and as many subscribers as possible. That was the goal, because that would help my channel get more traction. So I feel like as days went on, I didn't have to put that much effort anymore, because I feel like when you get subscribers, like, for example, when you pass like the 100 mark, you don't really need to put more effort as to when you're an upcoming YouTuber. So to me, I feel like I don't really need to be talking to that many people. So that's why I'm really against it. Why would you need to be talking to more than 50 people? Like, unless you have like an event going on, then you can try to reach out to them. But even trying to reach out to them, I just make a post. And you want to come, you come. If you don't want to come, stay home.
Yeah, like, so based off of my own experience with knowing people online and meeting people through social media, I grew up during the time where, you know, phones started to get touch screens and social media became more of a prominent presence in society and like in school and in work and whatnot. So when I was in elementary school and early high school, I had a lot of online friends who I considered to have genuine connections with. I used to hop onto Skype before Discord, at like 4 p.m. on the dot every day. And then I would go and talk to my friends from the United States. I had some friends who lived in Japan and South Korea that I would play video games with. I was not very good at them compared to them, but they were still friends with me anyways. It doesn't matter, you know, where you come from nowadays. People are able to connect all over the world throughout social media, and I feel like it would be a disservice to not only social media, but to the people who've connected over it to discredit the connections that they've made over it.
I have a point to make, but before that, 2,500.
Yes.
Give me your phone now. Call them. tell you are in trouble. Give them a call.
Every single one of them.
I know, like, I have real friends that I know would not come to save me. I don't know if I should be bragging about this, but no, of course, I'm kidding. I love you guys. I don't even know if they're watching this. They'll ever watch this. But, well, the thing is this. It's just with online friends, yes, you could make a connection, but you never know who's on the other side of the screen. Sometimes you might be talking to P. Diddy, and he's just asking you for a party. Or something as worse as that. You never know who's on the other side. It could be a sex offender. It could be a rapist. It could be a criminal of sorts who sees that you do YouTube, and they're like, hey dude, let's meet up, let's do this, and then you go over there, you get mugged or like killed or something like that. It's a scary world, right? And yes, online friends converted to real friends, you go really meet them up. Until that point, online friends do not matter. It doesn't count as real friendship. Real friendship is the type of friends who you could go out, go on a hike, go play some football, read a book together. I don't know how people read books together, but
something about meeting people in
Yes,
person,
that's
you
right.
know, like having that connection and seeing them in person. Like online, it just, like you said earlier, it's a barrier. There's that screen in between. It's just words, and then words can be interpreted in so many different ways.
So yeah, like I was saying earlier, so like to add on to what I said about the 2,500 friends I've made along the way, and I remember making a post. I was like, so I'm actually going for a hike, and I would like.
He went on a hike with 2,000 people.
Exactly.
Okay.
So
Lies.
I got.
Okay. I definitely can agree with Sahan's point about being cautious on the internet. Admittedly, there have been times, you know, in my youth when I was a wee lad, where I was using social media and I wasn't 100% sure about who the person I was talking to. But because I was basically raised on social media, I still had like an innate like survival instinct to, you know, vet the people that I was talking to. Like most of the people that I met on social media, I didn't even meet directly. I met through friends of friends, and they had already been friends for either months or years and been playing video games with them for a while. So they're like, yeah, this person is actually real. This person is who they say they are, and they're from where they say they're from. But I've never been in a situation where I've met an online friend in real life. But like I said before, I don't think that discredits the friendships and connections you make online either. You can still connect with people online as long as you are being true to yourself, and as long as you have trust in the other person that they are being true to themselves as well. But yeah, I can definitely see how meeting people randomly from, the internet may not be the best idea. That's how you end up on Dateline.
Yeah, I have a funny story to share actually. So I'm from India, and I don't know if you've heard, but there's arranged marriages in India. So my mom was after my life. She's like, you can't find a guy, blah, blah, blah. You should probably get an arranged marriage. So I'm like, nah, I'm not about that. So she created my profile on this Indian marriage site, okay? Now hear this. I receive a message on Messenger on Facebook, and this dude's like, oh, it was so lovely chatting with you on this blah, blah, blah.com. And I was like, I'm sorry, you have the wrong person. It's not me. And then he was pretty persistent. And I was like, fine, prove it. He sends me a screenshot of my profile with my photos on it. And I'm like, what? So apparently, my mom has been talking to this dude, pretending to be me. And I'm just like, what is going on? So that's just an example for you that you cannot trust anyone behind the screen. Another one.
I think breaking up with someone over DM is definitely more convenient than having to go out of your way to meet up with them in real life. When you're breaking up with someone over DM, you actually have time to draft up a message and get all your thoughts in order and explain to them, like, in one very, very, condensed message about why you're breaking up with them, what changed, what about them you don't like anymore, and then just send it. And then you don't have to deal with all of the IRL drama and the tears and comforting them. Sure, they might crash out and start spamming you, but you can just silence their messages. So I think breaking up with someone over DM is definitely more convenient and more fitting for the world that we live in today. Do not believe a single word that just came out of my mouth, please. That is not a true reflection of my character and who I am and what I believe in. Do not break up with people over DM. That's so bad. I was a teenager when I broke up with, my exes over text. And even though that's not a really watertight excuse, if I could go back and give them the decency of breaking up with them to their faces, I absolutely would.
I object, Your Honor. And you know why I object? Because we live in a world where if I want to break up with you, I'm going to ask ChatGPT to write me a breakup text. And it's literally facts. Because I've seen that happen. I'm not saying I've done that. But I've seen it happen where it's like, people will be like, hey, so ChatGPT, my girlfriend's breaking up with me. Oh, I'm trying to break up with my girlfriend, but what do I say? And then people will be like, oh yeah, type whatever. And then ChatGPT's like, oh yeah, say this. Man, if you really want to know a true person's intentions, look at their ChatGPT. And they'll tell you all about why you should never break up over DM.
Yeah, I think it's so inhumane. Like, I wouldn't want to be broken over a DM, right? It is just like, what about all the times when you're having fun and you're loving each other? You're doing that in person. Then why does breaking up have to be over text? I know it's convenient, but sorry, life isn't convenient.
Okay, I feel like situation matters. I feel like if the other person's a bit toxic or they could start beating you up, I don't know, is P. Diddy, then you definitely break up over text because you don't want to meet them. And in that case, he's in jail. And yeah, it's just it's sometimes safer to break up over text because you do not know how the other person handles things. And especially if you want to break up with them, probably that's majority of the time it's probably because those people are emotionally unstable, and definitely break up over text with an emotionally unstable person. If you fear for your life or if you're scared about how they'll react in public, it gets scary. And if the person's long distancing, you definitely break up over text because I'm not paying for a $2,000 flight.
Well, maybe you could FaceTime, maybe you could use all these other tools, because breaking over text is just so cold. Like, I know the fact that you're going to be breaking someone's heart in itself is cold, but then doing it over text, like, come on, come on.
I'm still gonna stand on business and say that breaking up over DM, if you're a non-confrontational person and if you break under pressure, it's just more, convenient for everybody involved to just get it done and over with in, the most time efficient way, the least amount of travel required. And like Sahan said, there's also an issue of safety too. Like, if you break up with someone over text, they can't like deny your words or like get rid of it. It's on their phone screen. It's right there. But if you're in person, they could like physically try to silence you or like back you up in a corner until you take your words back. But if you're in the comfort of your own home and you're at a distance with them, you could stand on business, like I said, and keep the breakup safe, not messy, and just be done with it.
I would hate it if you're watching this and you're my girl and you're my future girl, whatever it is. Don't ever dare to break up with me over text. Like, I would rather you pull up to my house, or I would rather spend a $2,000 ticket to go to your house and then watch you break up with me in person than over text. I'm that down bad.
I have questions. I forgot my question, but see, the thing with $2,000 ticket to break up with her, what if it's P. Diddy?
He's getting cancelled. I'm against that.
No, but in all seriousness, I feel like sometimes if you really love the person,
what I would do is make sure I bring the cops with me too.
okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
but the actual point I was gonna make was, if you really want to break up with the person and you meet in real life, sometimes the person could emotionally gaslight you to tell, oh no, you did this and that, and sometimes you even forget why you went there, and now you're back together.
Oh,
What's up with
he
that?
knows that from experience.
No. No. I've always done my breakups through text. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, guys. Kidding. My name is Sahan, and I would honestly never break up with you. Just letting you know. And if you are planning to break up with somebody, never do it through DM. At least have the decency to plan a nice date, because you guys have dated for a while. And if you do break up over DM, you have you should get your own jail cell next to you know who. All right, take care.
When it comes to posting your partner on social media, I definitely feel like it is a genuine way of showing that you love and care about them. Even though you may not broadcast all of your life on social media, I feel like at the very least you could have your partner's like initials in your bio, or like maybe a cute little lyric in your bio that reminds you of them, and you guys have like matching lyrics in your bios. I have that with my boyfriend as well. But yeah, like, if you are attracted to your partner and you're proud of standing next to them in real life and in person, and you post to social media regularly, you can at least post one story of your girlfriend like once a month, okay? That's the very least you can do.
Not necessarily. I think, especially in today's day and age, when all of our lives are so exposed, I think we need to keep some things private. And especially if it's an intimate relationship, I think that is just for you, because the rest of your life, what you're doing, what you're not doing, is usually out there. So posting your partner on social media doesn't necessarily signify true love, because you could love your partner to death and not have them anywhere on social media.
I feel like if you could post your 6th cup of Starbucks on your social media for the day, it wouldn't hurt to post your partner a little bit, because it's cute, and same time it makes them feel valued. I'm not telling you to base your value off what another person puts on social media, but and it's also great for visa purposes, just to prove that, like, that you are. Because I've like, I know people that who do have to show their social media if they want to get married to another person from with a different visa, for the visa purposes. So yeah,
I have a story about that too.
very important.
I've got so many stories, but go ahead.
No, I totally disagree. Like, you don't actually have to. Honestly, if I'm dating you, everything we do should be private and not for the world to see. Like, I don't want to have to go. Like, okay, I'm attacking a bunch of y'all. Like, let's say we're going on a date. Why do I have to wait for you to get a picture and post it on social media? Be like, "We're my man. Thank you to my man." Every single date. Like, why can't we just go out, have dinner, eat, and go home? Why do we always have to expose where we were, post where we were, everything? Like, I don't want to do that. So, come on, man. Like, I just want to literally be in a relationship that doesn't have to, like, I don't have to post a partner. I just want to be in a relationship privately on a private island somewhere in Nevada. I'm back again. This is my last time being on here. I thank God I got to get out of here. But honestly, all I'm going to say is, like, you do actually, to an extent, kind of have to keep it like 50-50, because if you're just gonna be on social media and just spamming your partner all the time, people are like, at some point you're just pushing it. Because there's theories that people that actually do that be the most cheaters. Like, there are people that do that and end up cheating too. So, and honestly, it doesn't really prove anything. It doesn't prove a point. It doesn't prove your loyalty. It comes down to, like, how loyal are you in person, right, with your partner, because you guys know each other. So you could post your partner and then you're a different person in the real world. So, like, that goes back to everything we talked about why social media can be like just a screen. So you're seeing someone, you're seeing everyone's happy, but like deep down they're probably dealing with a bunch of problems. So just because they're posting each other, that doesn't necessarily mean they're the happiest couples in the world. So think wisely.
I don't know. I just feel like if you're on social media regularly anyway, it's really not much of a hassle or that big of an ask to want to be featured on your partner's page. You know, like, that's just to signify to the people in your life and in your circle, like, hey, this is my partner, and, you know, they're super cute and I love hanging out with them. You don't need to share more than that, really. Not judging if you share more than that. You do you, that's your life. But at the very least, like, you know, maybe an anniversary photo on your 1 year or like 5 years or whatever, like, that would be the bare minimum that you could do in this day and age, especially considering how much information we get from other people and their social media pages. Like, if you aren't posting your long-term partner on your social media page or have any indication that you're not single, you're sus.
But I have seen couples who on social media are all about, oh my God, we're so into each other and blah, blah, blah. But in real life, they're so toxic. They're always fighting, compared to people who are not on each other's social media, but their relationships are just so surreal. Like, they're just, you know, the epitome of a good relationship. So posting on social media doesn't necessarily mean that the relationship is good, right? So yeah, you may post on social media, but not necessarily. It doesn't really mean anything.
What was your story?
Well, story time. So I also worked at immigration, and when you're doing visas, especially for spousal visas, you have to prove that this marriage or relationship is genuine. So you have to provide them, when I say proof, you have to give everything. I have literally read Bumble chats and and WhatsApp chats that I most likely should not have, but that was part of the job, you know? So you gotta sip on some tea while you're at it.
I gotta side with Praise here, because yes, you would find people who would cheat and do all these nasty things even while posting about their girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever. So yes, if you see a couple doing lovey-dovey stuff, sometimes they might be just doing it to show to the world that they're in a happy relationship while they are not. But then at the same time, you're going to find people who are really in love with each other, so don't judge. Although I do judge if you post every single time. But then at the same time, it's cute. It's cute to see people in love. If you're doing it genuinely, I'm happy for you. And I like it. I like seeing being posted, and I like people posting others. It's great. Spread love.